Hi, in the previous video we learned about environments. In this video we're going to take a look at creating nested functions, creating x string and modifying it within a function, and finally reassigning x to 5. Lexical scoping, also known as static binding, determines how a value binds to a free variable in a function. There are two different types of variable binding methods. One is lexical binding and the other is dynamic binding. Lexical binding is also called static binding, in which every binding scope manages variable names and values in the lexical environment. That is, if a variable is lexically bound, it will search the binding of the nearest lexical environment, in contrast to dynamically bound, which will bind to the most recently created variable. To demonstrate, let's have a look at how lexical binding works. We first create an x variable. Then we create a tempfunc function with x plus 3 as the return value. Even though we don't assign any value to x within the temporary function, x can still find the value of x as 5, the global environment, and hence the output is 8. Next, we create a function named parent function. In this function, we assign x to 3 and creates a child function, which is a nested function. At the bottom of the parent func body, we invoke child func as the function return. Here we find that the function uses the x defined in parent function instead of the one defined outside parent function. This is because R searches the global environment for a matched symbol name, and then subsequently searches the namespace of the packages on the search list. Thus, the output here is 3. Next, we create an x string, and we create a local assign function to modify x within the function. This is the code. Let's take a look at what we'll return if we create an x variable as a string in the global state and assign an x local variable to 5 within the function. When we invoke the local assign function, we discover that the function returns 5 instead of the string value. On the other hand, if we print out the value of x, we will see the string in return. While the local variable and the global variable have the same name, the assignment of the function does not alter the value of x in global state. We can also create another global assign function but reassign the x variable to 5 using this notation. Let's see how this code works. If you need to revise the value of x in the global state, you can use this notation instead. If we call the global function, the value will be 5. And if we call for x, still the value will be 5, as we have assigned the value of x as 5. In order to examine the search list or path of R, we can type search parentheses to list the search list. Let's use the search function. Here's the output. Cool. So that's all for this video. In this video, we've learned how to work with lexical scoping. That's awesome. In the next video, we'll learn about closure.